Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well. There were some Russians coming by train toward Belarus and they said about 1,000 or something. Well, no. Multiply that by 9. It seems like the Russians are moving in Belarus to stay. So I wonder what's up with that. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from 16th of October 2022. Almost 9,000 Russian military personnel to arrive in Belarus, says Belarusian Defense Ministry. Wow! I wonder what their operational task is. So a total of 9,000 Russian soldiers will arrive in Belarus as part of a newly declared regional grouping of Russian and Belarusian troops, a Belarusian Defense Ministry official wrote on Twitter on October 16th. The head of the Department of International Military Cooperation and assistant of the Belarusian Defense Minister Valery Rovenko said the first units of Russian servicemen have already started arriving in Belarus. The redeployment will take several days, Rovenko tweeted. The total number will be a little less than 9,000 people. According to the minister's assistant, more information will be provided at a briefing for military attachés on October 17th, which is what, tomorrow? Or there is already 17th. Meanwhile, the press service of the Ministry of Defense of Belarus reported that Russia has begun to transfer military aircraft and helicopters that will be part of the aviation component of the regional grouping of troops. Self-proclaimed president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, announced on October 10th that Minsk and Moscow had agreed to deploy a regional group of troops. According to him, the formation of the new force has already begun. Lukashenko said that the basis of the group would be, the armed forces of Belarus. Lukashenko said the basis of the group would be, the basis like the reason. At the same time, he ordered to receive and deploy more than 1,000 Russian soldiers on the territory of the Republic. According to Lukashenko, his decision was made, maybe now, following the alleged, and I'm quoting, aggravation of the western borders of the ally state of Russia and the Republic of Belarus, end quote. Accusations against Russia like these have been heard from Lukashenko's regime regularly since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which began on February 24th, including from the Belarusian-Ukrainian border. On October 8th, the Belarusian Foreign Ministry handed a note to Ukrainian ambassador Ihor Kizim with a statement that Ukraine was allegedly preparing a strike against Belarus. I don't think they would do that. Kiev denied this information and called it a Russian provocation. On October 12, the Belarusian KGB stated that foreign intelligence services were allegedly trailing militants for a full-scale invasion in Ukraine. I don't think so. But anyway, Lukashenko threatened that a new grouping of troops joined with Russian would be involved if, quote-unquote, the level of threat reaches the current level as it is now, end quote. In addition, according to the Belarusian media, Nasha Niva, Lukashenko decided to start mobilization in Belarus. On October 13th, the Parliament of Republic of Belarus adopted a bill in the first reading which proposes to limit citizens' ability to leave the country. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Belarus, Vladimir Makey, announced on October 14th that the regime of, quote-unquote, counterterrorism operation had been introduced in the country. At the same time, the Belarusian KGB denied this information. Well, 9,000 people, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's not like 1,000. 1,000 would be like if you have special troops, 1,000, which is a lot for special troops. That would be something fantastic. But 10,000 or 9,000, that's a good size if they're trained. If they're not trained, they're like little sparrows flying around. So, and you just pick them all. you never know. The thing is, what I think this would trigger the Ukrainians to move some of their detachments, if they are not there yet, to the border of Ukraine or in its proximity. And that would obviously make Lukashenko say that's a provocation, that's an escalation. Well, yes and no. Yes, because he wants it to look at it like that. No, because I don't think the Ukrainians have any interest in attacking Belarus, because if they had that in mind, they had 8 months, okay, to do so, and they didn't. So why would they do it now? But you never know. Tactics can change any moment according to the situation on the terrain, over there in the field. So they will bring obviously weapons, and they will bring not only military personnel, but also they will bring aviation and military installation, which I don't know if that's going to help the Ukrainians. I'm pretty sure not that it might not. It will definitely scare the Ukrainians, because every time you have troops at your border, you try to figure out why are they over there, and they're not over there just to keep peace. Another thing that maybe made the Belarus and Russia make this move is the talk that Zelensky requested international, I don't know how they call them, peacekeeping observers, I think observers, at the border with Belarus. Now, those observers, I don't think they're going to be like, civilians or working for peaceful means. I think they will be military people. That's what I think they're going to be. They're going to be armies. And this is going to be just a little step into the direction of deploying really, which I think they're already there, NATO armies. And when Lukashenko is going to say, yeah, we have information that that's NATO armies over there, nobody will believe him here in the West, because that's how the story goes. That whenever they refer to Lukashenko, they call him self-appointed, something like this, dictator. So they destroyed, or they try to destroy his authority or legitimacy. But who cares about legitimacy, since United States, together with those traitors in Ukraine in 2014, took down a legitimate government elected democratically by all the people of Ukraine, not only the west side or south side or east side or center side. But they didn't care. They were recognized immediately by the organizers, the planners. So when they tell me it's not legitimate, I say, yeah, okay, really? Yeah, like it's legitimate, like your leadership was in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yeah, okay, thank you. So I think this is an escalation, but I think it's a tactical maneuver in the part of the Russians, trying to probably break some armies from the front, bring them over here. I don't even think it's going to be maybe 9,000. Who's going to count them? Maybe it's going to be about 3,000, or maybe not even. And the Ukrainians would not know. I want to tell you a story regarding this. It was 1920, 2021. It was between Romania and Hungary. After the First World War, there was murky situation in Ukraine, in Hungary, and the communists came over, and they were supposed to go to a certain border, because the Austro-Hungary Empire fell, and then they didn't want to do that, and then France and other countries that were in charge told the Romanian army to go and push the border where it's supposed to be with the Hungarians, and go to Budapest if they can, the Romanian army, to go and straighten things out over there and change the regime. Which Romanian says, yes sir, they gladly waited for that opportunity, so they went. So they pushed the Ukrainian, Hungarian army to Budapest. And when they got over there, they went in front of that, and the Hungarians were ready to fight for their city. And what the Romanians did, that's how the story goes, they went around and they started patrolling in front of Budapest, wherever the army was over there, and they were coming out of some woods, going in front of them and going back in the woods, and then the same guys were coming around and again showing up. So when the Hungarians were looking and saying the formation of Romanians would not end, and we're like, what the hell, these guys, so many, but it was the same guys just walking in a circle, but you couldn't see the other side because it was in the wood, allegedly. So then they won. They didn't have to fight for Budapest because supposedly the guy said, what the hell, these guys are so many, we're gonna lose anyway, so just give up on it. That's how the story goes. And something like that. So probably that's the same as gonna be doing, what's his name, the Russians. We're gonna come with a train, go around Belarus, come back and keep going, and the Ukrainians are gonna count the same guys over and over and go like, these guys have 3 million people in Belarus already. Maybe it's just 1,000 just to go around with the trains. That's another way of winning wars. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.